Hey, Sasha, where in the heck do I find you, friend?
From location directly on the Sea of Montenegro in Eastern Europe.
Holy cow. This is the why I wanted you at this conference. You are a man of international mystery. Are you just taking a little R&R? Are you probably doing a little bit of work there as well in Montenegro?
Yeah, as you know, work never stops, but the family, they needed a break as well. So here we are in beautiful
Yeah.
Montenegro. The place is called Sveti Stefan, one of the most famous landmarks in Europe. So we're enjoying a beautiful beachside. It is about 475 degrees outside. So everybody watching this Zoom, you guys owe us one. We're enjoying live on location.
Sasha, we all want to be you, man. Starting with me, I'm first in line. So I'm here in Florida, swampy Florida, just chilling at my pad here, and I'm excited about this conference in August, and I know you are as well. But before we get to that, I want everybody to hear a quick story, your backstory for you, Sasha, and where you were born and raised, and how you came to America, and how you've now become this really successful business person.
Well, thank you for joining me. I am extremely excited to be at the conference as well. The speakers obviously are incredible, some of the most incredible brains in the various industries. So I look forward to seeing everybody there. My story, fascinating. I grew up in a communist Eastern Bloc, former Yugoslavia, now Serbia. I think my parents were pioneers in realizing that something bad would happen eventually in the country. They decided to leave the country and move to Phoenix, Arizona. So in 1991, my family made a very interesting trek to the desert, but it ended up proving, of course, to be the right choice as the country descended into chaos just about 2 years later. So my parents had enough foresight to get me moving and get my family out of harm's way. So I think that there's many,
Hey,
many
so
immigrants
so
that have got
Sasha,
this
let me
story.
guess, Sasha. Sasha, let me guess. They were your parents were rich, right? They were rich. They came to America just full of money, right?
Yes, and then they found money growing on trees too in Phoenix, so that was phenomenal. Actually, on cacti, technically, Alan.
No, like that's not where anywhere near the story. What was the reality growing up as
Obviously,
a kid in
the
Arizona?
reality. It's interesting because those who follow me on social media know that I grew up in very poor neighborhoods in South Phoenix, and we ended up living in a trailer for the first formative 5 years. So it was a very, very rough immigrant beginning. Both my parents had menial jobs, myself included. So it was a very, very poor growing up in Arizona. Obviously, now looking back, it was a phenomenal experience. At the time, though, it was horrific. So it made many of the stories that I tell my kid today, and I speak about many, many different times, a much more interesting fact, and it made every victory that much sweeter as well.
How'd you, Sasha? How'd you break away from that situation? What was the breakout for you?
Well, I think when you grow up in really poor neighborhoods, the my out for me was the fact that I didn't have anywhere to go. I didn't have money. I didn't have after school programs, and so my time was spent in the library. And I picked up this very interesting yellow book. At that time, it was how to code and how to create software online.
Mm.
1995, of course, I began the world's first e-commerce aftermarket car parts company, and became a pioneer in the e-commerce space with car parts. Why car parts? Because in my neighborhood where I grew up in South Phoenix, lowriders were prevalent. And so I saw what I saw around me. It was an influx of lowriders, Impalas, and Cadillacs. And I said, okay, one day I want to be like those guys, not knowing how those guys are, and learning that, in fact, car parts is a lucrative car business. And of course, I launched the first business back in 1995, selling those ugly, annoying blue light bulbs that everybody absolutely adores today. So you're welcome
Right.
for me blinding everybody.
Yeah, thank you, Sasha, for the ugly websites of the world, right? But you, Sasha, you sold that for a great number, and then you launched the next chapter of your career. And I know this is a short video, and you went on to build another company, and you where you are today. To keep this video short, let's jump right to a punchline. What do you tell early and aspiring entrepreneurs today when you mentor them and you speak at conferences like this? What are some of your favorite messages?
My favorite message is to never quit. And I feel it sounds so cliche, but I think in the first 10 years of me doing business online and offline, I was a kid. I was 16 when I started my first business online in 1995. And I think every single meeting was something new. So we even had to bring you guys back inside. It was so hot that the laptop and the phone, they all overheated. See, I told you, I do interviews in the middle of the worst heat waves in the history of Eastern Europe. So you're welcome, everybody.
It's Sasha, it's Sasha, a lot of low sympathy here in the swamps of Florida, but I feel you. You warned me when you went out there. You said, Alan, it is hot out there. Let's give it a shot. But you melted down, and now you're back inside. But let's finish that. Let's finish that answer about the kind of advice you give, early and aspiring entrepreneurs.
So back to the commentary, I think the most important part is if you have a clear vision and a plan to execute, there will be no no's. There will be no dead ends. Everything that appears to be a dead end will eventually come back around and become an open door at some point in time. So my advice to all the aspiring startup entrepreneurs, business people is never quit. There's no such thing as a no. There's just a not right now. But at the end of the day, I think the energy that you give off will eventually come back. And so that's my number one advice. As cliche and as old as business advice is, that is my number one advice and where I start.
So you basically are saying that determination, that never quit determination is the key.
I think resiliency is the key. I think if you are truly blessed to have a vision of your product, of your service, of your company, even for yourself as a brand, there's many folks that are brands themselves. I think resiliency, never quitting doesn't mean, okay, never quit, everything should be on fire. It means stay strong and keep going through the pressure and through the motions, because eventually the energy off will come back.
And I know a big part of that is keep believing in yourself and believing what your vision is for what you're trying to do. It's kind of hand in hand with that, isn't it? Let me say this. So Sasha, we'll wrap up here and let you get back to your the family time that you're doing out there. Everybody, we're doing this conference the last weekend of August the 27th, 28th, 29th, right there in Tampa Bay on the bay. The neat thing about Tampa Bay, there's a constant breeze, Sasha. Even though it's a little warm there, it's a constant breeze coming off the Gulf of Mexico. So know that.
Okay. Listen, at the end of the day, I'm very excited to be part of this conference. I can't wait to see you guys. Even though it's at the end of August, Alan, I'll be sweating with all you guys together. I appreciate the invite, and I hope you guys get the early bird tickets and come out and have an amazing time with us all.
I'm promising you a great, nice breeze off the Gulf of Mexico. That's my promise to you. Okay?
Deal. That's a deal.
Okay,
deal.
Sasha, what an honor. Thank you for zooming in here with me. We will see you in August. We'll see everybody. We're going to have a blast. And signing off to you, my friend.
Have a wonderful day, guys. Thank you for having me.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.